Deming's 14 points for management. Point 11. Eliminate work standards, quotas. Substitute leadership. Eliminate management by objective. Eliminate management by numbers, numerical goals. Substitute leadership.
Deming wrote of the factory floor, but this applies to everything. It's not just factories, it's all businesses. Whether you're in the ice cream business with an ice cream shop or the hardware store, or you're a technology business. So it fits in every aspect. Numerical quotas tend to be a problem because it sets a bias on where we want to go. And so the system itself may not be able to produce whatever the quota that you have. And so that leads to tampering. It leads to larger, greater variation. And the quotas get unintended consequences. And as managers, we tend to think, or we're taught anyway, that quotas get us what we want or what we need or what we expect, but actually gets us the opposite. And we get more of a mess, and we have less understanding about why things aren't working. And that's really directly related to setting quotas and targets. For workers, they understand that sometimes it's not really possible. They wouldn't say that it doesn't fit within the specifications of the system, as Deming would say, but they understand what's possible and what's not possible. And so if you tell them that they have to do 100 of whatever the calls or producing whatever, they know that it's not possible to do 100. And so what that does is that lowers their motivation. It lowers their understanding of what is possible. They start to block off their brain, and they don't even think about how I can improve the system. They're just robots. And you actually lose leadership value, capital, from your management, from your workers, if you start to tell them to do some quotas or targets that aren't going to fit within the system. Another aspect that happens is maybe you set quota, this doesn't happen very often, but you might set a quota that's below capability, and you get a lot of people just doing part of their work, meaning they'll do 25, but the system could really do 100. And then they're just kind of lounging around and hanging out. And so you lose productivity and efficiency that way. The moral of the story is it's not about the quotas. If you want to get efficiency, whatever you're after as a manager or a leader, you work on the system. And then you create the constancy of purpose, the vision, the aim of where we're going. And you use that as a talking point with your workers, your willing workers. And they will embrace that, and they will produce whatever the system produces. And that's a stable system. And once we have that, then we can measure the output of that and say it's 25. If the average is 25 or the variation is 10 to 30, then we know that that's what the system produces. And if that's not within my specification as the manager, and I want to get 50, then what do? We work on the system.
Consider these questions. How did you arrive at your numerical quota or objective? How do you know the system is capable of meeting that objective? What are the negative consequences of assigning quotas? What did Deming mean by substitute leadership? How could management shift from prescribing outcomes, such as quotas, to focusing on the performance of the process? Why did Deming say that targets can distract you from making real improvements?